Arsenal will win the quadruple this year. No, we're not. But I think we will shock some people, and I think we'll turn some heads with the way we'll play and what we'll win this season. So, welcome back, Octietos. Welcome back to the channel. And I'm going to do a prediction on where I think we place in the season, why, and what I think we'll have come May. Now, let me put my glasses on, all right, because I want to be extremely studious when I kind of go over where we were and where I think we'll go. So, let's cover what we did last season. So, last season in the league, we finished second. Obviously, I think we were 10 points behind Liverpool. And it was mostly underwhelming, I think, for every Arsenal fan, whether you like the manager or don't. I think last season was very underwhelming. Last season was supposed to be the season where we finally got over the line and we took a regression step. So, it wasn't good. In the FA Cup, we made it to the third round where we were knocked out by Manchester United. And, it was poor. We were knocked out on penalties. And it just seemed like we couldn't score. I remember that game. I thought that we would go in there and have a comfortable win against United because they were very poor. And they just somehow found a way to win. In the League Cup, we made it to the semifinals against Newcastle United, the eventual champions. And we didn't score. We didn't score in the semifinal. And that seemed to be a theme for the entire year. We were just unable to score. And I think that's what cost us in every trophy that we played in, to be honest, not being able to score goals. And then lastly, in the Champions League, we made it to the semifinal against PSG. They beat us in the home leg. We made a good test of ourselves in the away leg, but just couldn't get over the line. I think we ended up losing the tie 3-1. And it's the same thing. Just we couldn't score goals, and I think that was the main problem for last year, is we couldn't score the goals that we needed when we needed them. So this year I think it's going to be different. We've made, as I said, a lot of signings. We've brought in Nani Madueke. We've brought in Zubamendi. We brought in Victor Gyökeres. So we're kind of addressing that side, the creation and scoring side, and the ball progression side as well, to get into those areas to hopefully score some goals. So let's start with the Carabao Cup, or the League Cup. We finished, we made it to the semifinals. It's a competition that we haven't won in a long time. It's not like the FA Cup where, even in our poor seasons, we would kind of come up with the odd one. I don't think we've won the League Cup, and it's been quite a while for Arsenal. And I think last year would have been a great time to do it, but it's one of those cups. The League Cup is like City's Cup. They, in the past, they always win it. And the thing with the League Cup is the finals played like January-ish. So, I think City, and Pep have used it to propel the season. Because there's nothing like winning a trophy and then saying, oh, you think this one is great, wait till we go win the big one. And I think that's something like Arsenal, especially under this manager, have kind of scoffed at, winning the smaller trophies. I think the smaller trophies propel you to the bigger trophies. You look at Pep Guardiola, you look at Klopp, they are guys who kind of, worked hard to get those smaller trophies, especially Pep. Pep was upset when he didn't win, the FA Cup or the League Cup. It hurt, and they were winning everything. They won trouble. So I think that Arsenal need to take that kind of same mindset. It's a trophy that we can win. We haven't wanted it in, a decade or so, or more than 2 decades, let's go win it. Let's go win it, and then let's go propel ourselves forward. We've won this trophy, let's go win the big one. And I think that's what we need to do this season as well. The FA Cup, we made it to round 3, and we haven't made it past round 4 since we won it. So since we were in this kit, 2019, 2020, we haven't made it past the 4th round. And it's kind of embarrassing for a club that have won the FA Cup as many times as we have. it's something that we should take pride in. You know, I know like a lot of people scoff at the League Cup and the FA Cup, but for me, being a fairly new Arsenal fan, so when I started watching in 2016, that's what I celebrated. I didn't see, you know, I saw us lose the league to Leicester and it hurt, but I also saw us win the FA Cup. You know, I saw us win it in 2016, 2017. You know, I saw us win it in 2019, 2020. So as a young-ish Arsenal fan, the FA Cup is the thing that I've enjoyed because it's the only trophy I've seen us win. And to me, it meant a lot. So when I saw, when I see in the past that it seemed like our team wasn't taking it serious, it kind of upsets me because I'm like, this is one of our best chances to win a trophy. Like, this is our trophy. This is the Arsenal trophy. You know, this is the one we've won the most times. And for us to just kind of throw it away, especially the team, to poor teams like that Manchester United team, it's tough to see. You know, it's really tough to see. And I don't want that anymore. Like, I want us to go far in it. So I think that this year, I think we'll make it. I expect this year us to make it to at least the semifinal. I want us to make it to the semifinal of the FA Cup. I would love us to make the semifinal of the FA Cup. I didn't give a prediction on the League Cup because we haven't won it so much, but I'd like it. We got to the semifinal. I'd like us to get to the final, to be honest. I'd like us to get to the final of the domestic cups. It would be nice to get to a final. But for the FA Cup, it's a little bit tougher, especially, if we have a rejuvenated City, if we have a rejuvenated Liverpool, I think it'll be tougher. So the Carabao Cup is one that I kind of want us to go in there, win, and then the FA Cup, I'd like us to be in as well. And now we're speaking about the big trophies. Now this, and I've said this to my friends, I've said it in the group chat, I think that our manager needs to win one of these trophies. I think that in order for him to be secure with the fan base, to be secure, in his job, I think he needs to win one of these. I don't think the FA or the League Cup is enough. I think it's been a long time. It's been, as I said, it's been the 2019-2020 season when we actually won the last trophy. And I think 5 years is more than enough time for you to implement your system, for you to get everything that you wanted out of it. And if we can't win a trophy by then, a big trophy, I just don't think it's good enough. So when it comes to these last two trophies, I'm going to start with the Champions League. So the Champions League, we did make it to the semifinal against PSG, and PSG was just the better team, to be honest. They were the better team. I think we could have done more, so I actually went to the home game. I was lucky enough to go to the home game. And yeah, it was flat. It was flat. I mean, they scored in the first, 5 minutes, I think it was. And I remember sitting in the stadium, and you could hear a pin drop. Like, it was deflating. And then, the second half came, and it just seemed like we were at a PSG game. Like, all you could hear was the PSG fans. Because it wasn't that we weren't, spurring the team on. Spurs. But it's not that we weren't, supporting the team. It was just the fact that it looked tactically on the pitch that we could have been there today and wouldn't have scored. And I think fans were kind of dejected because we'd seen, the last game I went to before that was the Everton 0-0. And it felt like that. It felt like we could have been there all night and we weren't hitting the goal. And it's just like, we lost this tie in the first 5 minutes. And then we went to Paris and kind of did a little bit, we came out aggressive in Paris and we worked hard, but we just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. And then they went on to win it. And I think that a lot of fans, especially myself, I feel like that was a missed opportunity because if we could have beat that PSG team, I think we're better than Inter. I think we would have won the Champions League if we could have gotten past that PSG team. If we had someone who could score, I think we could have won the Champions League. Now, coming back to this new format, as I said, the Champions League has a new format. It's not like the old, group stage anymore. It's kind of the big table, and it's where you finish in the table. I think we'll get through that group stage, but the Champions League is all about the draw. I think it's all about the draw. I think that, however, we play a lot better against teams that we're not supposed to beat. So if you look at the Real Madrid, no one besides the staunchest Arsenal fans were like, we're beating Real Madrid. And even a lot of Arsenal fans were like, well, we ain't winning Champions League. And then we beat them. And I think that's how Arsenal have been under this manager. We play the big teams and we play them hard. We get the points. We get what we need. But it's the smaller teams, the teams we weren't supposed to beat, that we are supposed to beat, that we don't beat. And I think that's the issue. I think when it comes to the Champions League, I think we'll go semifinal again. I think we can make the semifinal of the Champions League. I think with this team, we still need a little bit more in the attacking sense. But I think if that team that we had last year can make a semifinal, I think this team can make a semifinal as well. And I would expect, now, my expectations in reality, I think the bare minimum would be the quarterfinal. I would like us to get to the quarterfinal to at least get past the round of 16 to get into the quarterfinal. But I would love a semifinal. I think that's where we end up. I think we end up at a semifinal. And with who knows, with a stroke of luck, with some Gyökeres goals, with some Odegaard magic, maybe we actually make it to the final. I'd like to see us make a final, but I think the quarterfinals is where we'll get to. And then lastly but not least, my prediction for the Premier League. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm delusional when it comes to the Premier League. I won't lie to you. I try to be educated. I try to be sane. I try to be rational. I'm rationally delusional when it comes to the Premier League. I think we're going to win it. I think we're going to win it this time. I think there is no other choice but for us to win it. But I don't think we'll run away with it. I think if we do win this league, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to come down to the last couple weeks. But I want us to win. That's my prediction. I think we're going to win the league. And I'll probably get made fun of. I'll probably get clipped up for saying we're going to win the league. I think we'll do it this year. I honestly think that the man that I think Mikel Arteta is, the coach that I think he is, he can't have sat there for 3 years finishing second and said, this is good enough. And I think that, we get frustrated with Mikel because he's been here a long time. We haven't won anything. But being a coach myself, as I said, I coach American football, I know that second place feels not good. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. And I know that he's not just sitting there. If he's the kind of coach I think he is, he's not just sitting there saying, dang, we finished second. Let me go with this same kind of system and hope for the best. I don't think that's what's happening. I think that Mikel will have sat down and actually tried to tweak it. Now, he has to get out of his own way. That's the only way he's going to win. He's got to get out of his own way. He's got to make subs earlier. He's got to bench players when they're not doing well. A la Odegaard last year. Odegaard should have been benched way before the injury. I think he was poor. And I won't lie, in the preseason, Odegaard looked like he's back to form, so I don't know what was going on there. But I think that Mikel has to now be unafraid to take those players, whether they're big name, whether it's Gabriel, whether it's Saka, to say, you're not doing well, I will take you out of the team, I want to win. I think that's where he has to have that ruthlessness now. He can't marry any players anymore. He's done it for 5 years and it's won him nothing. I think now he has to be ruthless and say, this is what it takes to win. And I think he'll do it this time. I honestly think he'll do it. Will it be tough? Yes. I think Liverpool, Slot has won the league, and I think he knows what it takes to win the league. I think that Pep Guardiola will have sat there last year, been embarrassed where they finished, that they didn't win anything. And we know what an embarrassed Pep looked like, because when he comes back, he comes out with the vengeance. So I think it's going to be tough. And then you have Chelsea. Honestly, I think you have United. I think United are having a sneaky good window. I think Amorim had a tough time, but I think he's a coach that will figure it out and will get it together. Do I think they'll be in the title race? No, but I think they'll be the European places race, and I think it can get kind of crazy. Newcastle, I think, will fall out. So will Forest, I think they'll fall out. But that top four race, those big clubs, and you can't discount Tottenham as well. As much as I can't stand them, I think that Thomas Frank is a good manager, and I think he will make them tough to beat, and I think he'll have something to say. So it won't be the easiest. I don't think it'll be a cakewalk for us, but I think that this is the year that we finally get over the line. This is the year where I can finally go down to the Armory. I can finally go down to Islington, get off at the Arsenal Tube Station with my fellow fans, my fellow Gooners, and celebrate us winning the Premier League. All right, so that's my prediction. I think we finish first. I think we finish first, and yeah, I think we finally get over the line, and I hope we finally get over the line. Like I can't take another season to finish second place, and I know a lot of fans can't do it as well. So I think this will be the year that we finally do it. So that's my predictions. Just a quick recap. I think that we'll finish first in the Premier League. I think we'll make the quarterfinals of the Champions League. I think we'll make the semifinals of the FA Cup, and I think the League Cup. I say I want to make the semifinal, but I'd like to make it. I'd like to make it to the final of the League Cup. Honestly, I think we should be making it to the final of the League Cup with City, or if we play City, at least the semifinal, where that comes in. But I do want us to go far in the League Cup. I know we're not going to win the quadruple; it's not happening. But I do think we'll win a trophy, and that trophy I think this year will be the Premier League. And then whatever happens next happens next. Thank you so much for watching. As I said, if you have any comments, if you guys want to, take the mick out of me in the comments about me thinking we're going to win the league, put them below. And I'll tell you why. I'll debate you. I'll debate anyone kind of in the comments. I'll speak to you guys and I'll talk to you. So make sure you engage. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.